It's me, Kara. I hope everyone is having a terrific day. I'm going to talk briefly about the Blac China and Rob situation. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a week because I feel like it's getting old and people don't want to talk about it and they love to move on to new things. But I really wanted to talk about this because this is something that really pissed me off when I first heard about it. I don't really like to talk about other people's issues. It's not my business. I don't feel why we need to talk about this actually, but I'm speaking from a perspective of a black woman who knows that when you are walked over, you ain't going to let people continue to do you dirty. And that's exactly what happened with Blac China, where she has not been seeing Rob since last year. I didn't think it was that long. I thought it was literally just this year, but it was actually last year. It's been a while since she's been with Rob. And I did a video a while ago talking about how Blac China should not have said what she said about and to Rob, because I felt if you really knew about his issues and his being depressed and mentally ill, you should not have gotten with Rob. You should have not gotten with Rob if you felt like, you're crazy and you're this and that and you need therapy. I thought that was wrong. I didn't like her usage of words like crazy and psycho. She was being ableist. I felt like she was gaslighting him. I felt like she was very toxic for Rob. I thought that Blac China was toxic for a Kardashian. So I stood up for Rob because I felt like, ain't nothing wrong with Rob. He ain't really the bad guy here. I'm not a fan of the Kardashians or the Jenners, and I have my reasons why I don't like people. And one thing I don't understand is why people think that I have to hate on someone to make a point. If I don't like you, it's because I don't like you, or it's because I don't think you're a good person. It has nothing to do with my being jealous or I don't want you to succeed. I don't feel you need to succeed if you're someone that's talking bullshit. That is totally me 100%. So with that in mind, last week Rob did what I believe to be the most foulest thing anyone could ever do to a person. He uploaded Blac China's privates all over the internet, private nudes, because he was mad that she allegedly cheated on him with different men. But the kicker, they weren't dating for the longest. Blac China said, I got calls from Rob asking to have sex with him, that I missed his pussy and asked, please come back to me. He was buying her stuff, trying to buy back her affection. And she took the money. She took the cars because ain't no fool gonna sit here and just not take some silly offer from someone. Like, you want to take the money, but then you still not gonna fuck them. Like, oh, what a nice gesture. Fuck you though, I'm not fucking you. Like, come on, people offer you shit all the time. People offer you drinks, people offer you to go out to dinner with them, and you say, oh, that's a nice gesture, but you ain't trying to fuck them. And if you feel that you have to give somebody something in return over something that they chose to do, you need to stay away from that person. And it's dark in here, like you can barely see me. I don't care, I just want to be talking. Just look at my silhouette. But Rob was basically harassing China, trying to guilt trip her, saying, you should get back with me. I got all these gifts for you. And, I miss Dream and I miss Cairo. And here's what I need to say about this situation with Rob and calling China his wife and trying to claim Cairo. That's not your son, Rob. If I were Blac China, I would keep you away from my son. I would keep you away from my daughter, as what is happening now, because Blac China received a grant for a restraining order against Rob because Lisa Bloom, the lawyer that is taking on China's case, is not tolerating what happened with Rob using revenge porn as something to humiliate China with. Revenge porn is when you take photos of somebody that's private, unsolicited, not meant to be shared with anyone else in the world, and you put it all over the internet just for people to look at and laugh and call hoes. I remember back in the day, there was this page called Hoes Gets Exposed, and these little bitches gonna sit here and say, well, if you a hoe and you seeing niggas nudes and being all slutty for them, don't expect them to not expose you. I say, well, if you can't sit there and call it harassment, or if you can't sit here and say that's wrong, you can at least say it's cyberbullying. These little bitches said fucking nothing because they knew they were fucking wrong. Then they knew I was right. I said that's cyberbullying. What, are you going to say something about it? No. I'm not gonna say it because I want to fucking get off on women being humiliated. Like, you people are fucking perverts. You guys get hard, you get wet over women being humiliated. And I know that's why you're sticking up for Raw. Because any other time, men would be cheering on Blac China like, yeah, that's our black queen. She screwed over a white man, yeah, and slept with one of us. Yeah, you know, she was bringing the dough back home. But yeah, because it has to do with her sexuality and her body, then y'all want to stand up for Rob because y'all both on the same level as white men when it comes to using black women's bodies for your own personal gain. But yeah, Rob just, he really, he lost my respect. He lost so much respect from me. And I forgot what he did to Rita Ora 5 years ago, where he called her a slut, called her Rita Hora, saying, you know, she slept with 20 men, but they weren't together at the time. And then with Adrian Ballone, when she broke up with him, he was harassing and stalking her until she had to say, I have a boyfriend. And she really didn't, but she said she did just to get Rob to back off of her, and he still wouldn't back off of her. I think he has problems. It's not to be ableist, it's not to sit there and say, you need help, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying Rob has serious issues. Like, it's not healthy. It's interfering with other people's lives. It's interfering with his life. That's what I am saying. Like, it's getting to a point where what he is doing is just causing a huge disruption, not only for his life, but for other people's lives. He's causing disruption for Blac China. You know, he's causing a disruption for everyone around him. And then you don't have the Kardashians sticking up for China. You know, these are your feminists. These are your entrepreneurs who are powerful women, and they stand up for women, and, you know, they show off their bodies, and these are pro-sex positive women. But did you hear Chloe say, you know, even though I'm not the biggest fan of what's her name, Blac China, I'm sorry. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Blac China, what he did was wrong. What my brother did was wrong. But they hate black women, so of course they don't care because they are jealous of black women. They go out of their way to look like them. They get their surgery done to look like them, but then they want to sit there and use black women for their own personal gain, steal their clothing line, metaphorically steal their men. You know, you want to pretend that you are somebody's friend and you want to hang out with them, but you trying to get close with their baller boyfriend because you can't find your own man. Like, here's what I don't understand. I'm not one of those people that says, ew, you know, you homewrecker, you side chick, you know, you the cause of their breakup, you should get beat up. But in the case of the Kardashians and Jenners, no, I'm not going to say Jenners because I don't think it was Kylie's fault that Tyga groomed her at 16 and left his then wife, girlfriend, or whoever for Kylie. You know, I'm not blaming Kylie for that because she was a minor. I don't like Kylie, but there are limitations for how I can drag her. I'm not sitting here trying to drag her for that, but I want to talk about the Kardashians. It seems to me the Kardashians are not able to find men of their own. They are not able to find black men of their own without swagger jacking black women, without pretending to be their friend, without trying to look like them, and then black men will just swarm them. You know, you have to go after somebody else's boyfriend, and that's a shame. Like, you gotta like get in good with them. You gotta like deceive people, make them think that you're one way when you're not. And I feel like some people do that. I feel like some people will try to manipulate others into getting with them, like your partner ain't shit and, you know, you should date me. I feel like there's such a thing as manipulation. Of course, I think it's the person's fault if they choose to cheat, because regardless, you should not let anyone like tell you how to feel about another person. You should not let anyone influence you. But I feel like the Kardashians had malicious intent when it came to getting with who did Chloe get? Like, she got with a lot of men. Lamar, apparently she was friends with a woman named Tristan, and then she ended up dating her then boyfriend or partner, and not Chloe, but Kim pretended to be friends with Amber Rose, but then was sending Kanye West nudes and saying you should get. See, I don't fuck with that. You look desperate. You look like you are insecure, that you can't find your own man, so you gotta like be in somebody else's circle. Like, it just shows that you cannot find your own man. Like it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's one thing if you just so happen to fall for, no, I can never see myself falling for somebody's boyfriend and I know the person and I'm cool with them and we're friends. I could never do that. Like there have been plenty of times where I liked the guy and thought he was cute, but then once I became friends with a girl that he was dating, I didn't look at him that way. Even when we were cool, I did not see him that way. Like some girls kind of felt a type of way that I had to admit, I had a crush on your boyfriend, but then when I got to know you and we became cool, I wasn't attracted to him. That's what I am saying. Like I just have my own little moral code that I'm not going to pretend to be somebody's friend just to fuck their boyfriend or their girlfriend or whoever they are with. That's foul. But these are your Kardashians, your feminists. Kim just slut shamed a woman months ago because she called her at Scott Disick's house, and Scott was not with. See, this is where they get it from. This is where Rob gets it from because Kim got mad that a woman was at Scott's place when they weren't together. She got mad and was calling her a slut, ghetto, hoe, and bitch. She got mad. So that's probably where Rob gets it from because they don't understand a concept that when you are not together with someone, they can sleep with whoever they want, whoever they please. So I think that whole family is fucked up. But no, Blac Chyna said, no, ma'am, they did not reach out to me. These are so-called feminists that want to sit there and say, body positivity, we should be able to be naked and show off our skin. And I know quite a few people say that Amber Rose is somebody who just wants to work with Slut Walk just to show off her body. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think it fits more in with the Kardashians. I feel Kim Kardashian is someone who will sit there and say, we should be able to show off our bodies and, embrace our beauty and our booties and all of that, but you just want to show off your fake booty, you want to show off your fake titties, your fake curves, you want to show off all of that, but not give a fuck about actual sex workers, not give a fuck about actual Black women who are sexualized, not give a fuck about women who are truly treated like trash because of who they are. No, you slut shame women just as much as anyone else. And then you want to sit, I know you call Blac Chyna a hood rat. I know you've called her a hood rat on countless occasions. And, it's going to come back to bite you. Like, I want y'all to, how are y'all so powerful? How are y'all so fucking powerful? It's because they ride off Black culture. They cannot be powerful with just white people. No, they are so powerful because Black people make them powerful. They're powerful because it's Black men that invite them to events. It's Black men that let them wear, our clothes, our hairstyles. It's Black men that elevate them. It's Black men that are following them. It's Black women too. But I feel Black men are more at fault because they have the power of the community and they use their power to just invite anyone in and give them like elevation status, especially if they are non-Black women of color or non-Black women, which the Kardashians are. They aren't women of color, they are white women. They identify as white women. You can tell me about how, in parts of Europe, they aren't okay, but in the US they're fucking white. Anyway, we're fucking in the US, so we're gonna keep it in our context. But none of these people are great people. I don't agree with robbing somebody. People say that Blac was using Rob for money, but even if this is true, what he did was terrible, and for him to treat anyone like that habitually and apparently beating her, he probably did beat her. I can see him getting violent, and seeing Blac Chyna as someone to push and thinking she's not gonna do shit, and then she defends herself so he gets angrier and hits her back. You ain't gonna do shit, you little ghetto ass bitch. He probably said something like that. But I don't think it's right to use somebody, but I think Rob and that whole family had it coming. I do. It's not right, but it's okay because I think the right people got their comeuppance. But from what I've heard, Rob was the one that came to China. And, China wasn't really messing with Rob like that. I feel like Rob went up to China and, was trying to take advantage of the situation that she was heartbroken over Tyga and Tyga leaving China for his little sister, and he even brought it up in his tweet saying, she was broken, and she used a baby out of spite because her man left her for my sister, and my sister took her man. And it's like, you knew that, and you got with her because you wanted to fuck. You saw this attractive black woman, with a nice body, and you were like, okay, I'm gonna get in that. And then when she no longer wanted you, then you as an entitled white man was like, fuck that bitch, fuck that whore. You're racist. The whole family is racist. Everyone is. There is no redeemable quality about that family. Like, I've heard people say, Kendall's Kendall is just like them. She's just a white girl with thin lips that stays in her lane, but she's still, a culture vulture. Courtney, nah, I don't trust Courtney because she also took some pictures saying some off things. She pretended like she was a Native American, so fuck her too. Fuck Caitlyn, fuck Chris. Like, I do kind of respect Chris, like, for her hustle, but fuck her too. Fuck the nanny, fuck everybody in that family, fuck the men, fuck the women, fuck the dogs. Like, that whole family is trash. Peace out.